All right, my little butterflies, before we get into this episode knee deep of white heat, I almost kind of rhymed, a little bit of alliteration, but not really. But anyways, I want to talk to you again about Mohawk Honda, our good friends over at Freeman's Bridge Road in Scotia, Glenville, whatever you want to call it. It's the same damn thing, really. Yeah, they are sponsoring all of the podcasts from Godzilla Media, including this one right here, White Heat. And I know every dealer, they want you to trade in right now. I know myself, my wife, and I, we are thinking about trading in our two vehicles for something newer, a little more efficient in the vehicle department. And here's the problem, though. A lot of shortage in the market right now. And so you can go to any random Joe Schmo lot that's local. And yeah, great. You can trade in your vehicle, but they ain't really going to have much for you to look at and try to turn that cash around into a newer vehicle. Well, at Mohawk Honda, not only will they give you top dollar for that trade-in today, they also have acres and acres of inventory for you to choose from, so you ain't got to go bouncing around from dealership to dealership trying to find a way to trade in your vehicle and get a newer one with the cash you're getting. They have the largest inventory of vehicles in the capital region in upstate New York, and that means you can choose the right one for you. Yeah, there's dealers that talk about their values, and they really just want to make things the most efficient for them. But really, Mohawk Honda, they're going to take care of you and focus on your values. So go to Mohawk Honda, buy the vehicle you deserve from their vast selection of certified pre-owned vehicles, guaranteed to fit your needs and your lifestyle. This summer, selection is king, and no one has more to choose from than Mohawk Honda, Freeman's Bridge Road in Scotia, Glenville, where they will always go out of their way to please you. And that said, what does the mug say, JJ? This is some serious gourmet. Yes. We love Pulp Fiction here on White Heat. We really do. Yeah. So welcome into White Heat, episode 9 here, presented by Godzilla Media and sponsored by Mohawk Honda. So let's just dive right into it, because JJ, you were on the road last weekend. You were cruising your way from Connecticut across multiple state lines into Philadelphia to check out MLW Battle Riot. Let's start with the traveling stuff. Any curveballs you were thrown? Good things, bad things while you were on the road, anything like that?
So traffic actually wasn't that bad. A little stop and go here and there, but like in usual spots, like on the Sawmill, because they're apparently finally adding another lane to the Sawmill. It's only been 50 years. Finally, it was my first trip over the Cuomo Bridge, because I hadn't seen it. The the one that replaced the Tappan Zee.
It will always be the Tappan Zee.
Yeah, I know. Because I was going over, I was just like, what is it, the Cuomo Bridge? I'm like, oh, this is okay. It's nice. But yeah, I know. Because I used to take the Tappan Zee to go to shows in Wayne. So, but yeah, no, it was a pretty easy commute. I wish I had found a better hotel.
Okay.
Just because, like, I used the booking app. And I found something that wasn't the cheapest. I found a few dollars more, and something that looked like it had a decent rating. And it was actually in Philly. Like usually when I go to stay in Philly, I end up having to stay in Cherry Hill because Philly's filled up. But I got a spot and requested an accommodation for first floor because I got the GIMP scooter, and requested an accommodation to check in at 1 instead of 3. Mm-hmm. And booking approved all that shit. So we get there at 2:00, and I wheel in. I'm like, yeah, I need to check in. And the guy's like, check-in's not till 3. I'm like, I have a special accommodation. He's like, I don't care what that says.
That's good customer service.
Oh, yeah. And I was like, dude, he was just like, he's like, take that up with the app. I don't care. I'm like, okay. So then, we gotta go outside, and I'm with Shell. And she was like, fuck it. We're just going to sit here in the car for an hour in the AC. I'm like, but we could go do stuff. But we sat in the car for an hour, and then we checked in. And he was trying to be all nice to me. Then he's like, oh, I love Connecticut. I'm like, nobody fucking loves Connecticut, dude. Nobody does.
Oh boy.
So we check in, we get situated, and then we're like, all right. So when I emailed the venue about early entry, they were like, we're going to open up doors at 4:30. Yeah. Even how many years have I been in the business, and I still haven't realized indie wrestling time is indie wrestling time.
Mm-hmm.
So we're sitting there, but the great thing was we got a parking spot right in front of the arena, which Shell was over the moon because she had these heels that she wanted to wear, and she's like, I'm not wearing these fucking heels if we got to walk 8 blocks. But because we're right in front of the arena, she's like, I can wear my heels. I'm like, okay, cool. So we go. They actually opened the doors at like 5:15. Went in, found out that the VIP or whatever and all that stuff got to get in to be seated at 6. So it actually wasn't that much of a wait. I watched Shell mark out for Mil Muertes because he was standing there at the merch table and she didn't even realize until she looked up from her phone and she had a moment. And she was like, he's so little. I'm like, we know who it is under the mask. You already knew his fucking height. She's like, yeah, but it's just different. I'm like, it's because Lucha Underground made him look like a fucking giant. That's why. But
oh boy.
I mean, nothing against it. I fucking love Mil Muertes. But yeah, and I mean the show was they did a lot of tapings for Fusion for the upcoming month, so I don't want to spoil anything.
Right.
As far as that goes. Some local talent was on the show. And some talent that I've been meaning to see is on the show. I finally got to see. I've been wanting to see Willow Nightingale live, and I finally got to see her work a match. She's fucking dynamite.
Even though the opponent you said she was facing was trying to fuck her over, but that's okay.
Not a fan. But we got Cesar Duran, Dario Cueto came out for the opening promo, and he got cut off by Injustice, who said they wanted a tag title match, and then it showed MLW announced that the final member of their draft was going to be announced sometime during the show. So then the countdown clock starts, and all of a sudden, boom, and you just see LAX across the screen, and out comes Conan, and Julius Smokes. And the new LAX, fuck, I forgot their names. Pull it up because apparently Conan, apparently Impact and Conan have the rights to the name, so that's why they're able to use it. So it was 2 younger kids, and I mean they looked good. You know, I actually kind of like them better than Santana and Ortiz. Oh, here we go. And MLW, what was it? Because there's a picture from it. Danny Limelight and Slice Boogie.
Okay.
Yeah. Couple of New York kids, and Julius Smokes is with them, and I mean that was a decent segment, you know. But it was amazing because Cesar Duran didn't say "ring the bell," like that's what we were all waiting for, and he didn't say it. But good Lord, does that dude know how to play the fucking crowd? Like spot on, fucking great. Especially like after that whole segment, like he had his chick with him, and they were looking for a place to sit at ringside, and literally like they had Atlas security come over and like open the barricade for them to sit like on the south side, and then they're sitting and the whole crowd like Philly's fucking it's Philly, and so like yeah, and everyone's like south side sucks, and then he gets up and moves over to another section and the same thing, and this went on for like 20 minutes. Like just getting heat, fucking awesome. The big hot opener was the bunkhouse brawl with the Von Erichs against Kevin Koo and who the fuck else was it from Team Filthy? Shit, I forgot. It was and Tom Lawler was obviously interfering, but it was Rip Von Erich.
Oh right,
yeah. But yeah, it was a solid match. A nice little tribute to Terry Funk in it. Marshall Von Erich moonsaulted through a table. And
sounds right.
Yeah, I mean the show overall was fun. Like I said, I don't want to spoil matches that are going to actually air on their YouTube channel and on Vice. I will say, when it does air, there's one match go out of your way to go see, and that is it was a lucha match with some newer guys. It was Ares versus Aramis. Just perfection. Like the way lucha is supposed to be done. Start off slow, good build, get to the high spots, and just build the crowd to when there's a holy shit moment, there's a reason to chant holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
And they were impressive as fuck. I have to give them that. And Alex Kane from fucking America's Top Team, that kid's a fucking beast. That kid needs to get signed somewhere. Same thing with the Von Erichs. Before it's too late, Vince needs to pick them up.
So all in all, a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your trip overall?
Give it a solid 8.
Solid 8 out the door. All right.
Yeah. Battle Riot itself was fun because it was like being at the Rumble where there's, surprise entrance.
Right.
Of which we popped for some and others we were like, fucking really? Just because that was my only qualm was Jacob Fatu is the champion.
Mm-hmm.
He's in Contra Unit. There's 7 other guys in Contra Unit, and they were all in the Battle Riot. Like, that's almost fucking 25% of the people in it. Like, I wasn't big on that. Especially because, even Joseph Samael, the fucking manager, was in there. Like, dude, too much. But Savio Vega got the biggest pop of the night when he came out and cleared house with a fucking cane, only to be surpassed by Savio coming out as Quang the Ninja. That was amazing. Savio coming out as Quang, whoever came out as Kimchi, that was fucking great. Just because you could, it's like, I don't know who it was. It was some skinny kid, and just with the mask and the little slapjack and just tossed. And the fucking Blue Meanie got the Philly pop, in which Shell was like, I can't fucking escape this dude. It was great seeing Blue Meanie getting eliminated by getting blue misted by Quang. That was fucking good. What was it? Quang, blah, 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 Meanie. Who was the other? Apparently neither of Los Parks were there, but we see La Parka come out, and I'm guessing it was a travel thing. Fucking La Parka comes out, and it's not La Parka, it was fucking Tom Lawler. They fucking yanked the hood off him. So I was like, La Parka looks kind of skinny. Nope, it was Tom Lawler trying to get an extra entry, which is fine. King Mo almost fucking killed the kid.
Are you shocked?
He comes in and tries to flapjack this kid and almost drops him boom on his fucking head the second he enters. I'm like, dude! No.
Again, are you shocked?
Yeah. Who really impressed me that I got to see live, who I'm sorry, but Vince should have never let this kid go so early, is fucking EJ Naduka, fucking the judge. Mm-hmm. That kid's got it. Size, look, speed, fucking work. I haven't heard him talk. That could be his only weakness. But he looked strong in that shit. There were times where you could see him and one of the Von Erichs just in the corner, waiting for the next spot. Just you could as a worker, you can tell when 2 workers are look at this shit. Yep. Yeah, we just gotta wait. Yeah, okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Just having a good time. He was honestly my pick to win it, but that did not happen. Honestly, the results of Battle Riot have already hit the internet, and Alexander Hammerstone went over, who he got a huge pop during his match earlier. Who the fuck did he work? Who the fuck did he work? Someone from Contra. It was someone from Contra. I don't remember. It was so hard because it ended up being him and 4 members of Contra Unit at the end of the fucking Battle Riot. The last 2 was him and Mads Kruger. And dude, it was he is fucking over as a son of a bitch. And he just I'm like, dude, lay off the gas. Cause Jesus. I was I think I texted you, I was he reminds me of Jeep Swenson, which is a really old school callback for fucking 80s wrestling watchers. But my guess is because he's been national open weight champion for like 2 years, and Fatu's been MLW champion, that they're going to be doing a title unification on that shit. That's the only thing I can think of. Because they've got a lot of belts in MLW. Because they've got the heavyweight, the open weight, the light middleweight, the fucking tag belts, the fucking the Caribbean title, something else. But yeah, they've just they need to consolidate their belts. Gino Medina is not Sammy Guevara, just as Alex Kane is not Powerhouse Hobbs. That's how you can distinguish.
Thank you.
Which KC Navarro is not Trey Miguel. that was from Shell. But yeah. Okay. Just like you could tell from looking at them and shit. But it's weird too. Like the dynamic, especially of the Philly crowd, was really weird because like Hammerstone and Richard Holiday are in the same stable. Mm-hmm. Hammerstone is over like a motherfucker. Holiday is just booed out of the building. Like he gets good heel heat. He's not a bad worker. I mean, he's a local Connecticut kid. Okay. But like it's just amazing, like the polar opposites, and they're in the same stable.
Okay. This actually leads me to an interesting question.
Okay.
If you had your pick of the two right now for who will have a more substantial rise in the business in the next 5 years, Holiday or MJF?
In the next 5 years?
Yes.
MJF.
Okay.
And the thing is, like, Holiday, like, I know the kid, not on a really, really personal level, but I've been at training sessions with him. I've worked promo classes with him and shit. Mm-hmm. Like, the kid's a nice kid. He listens. He's in good shape. He finally got gear that looks good on him, because before, like, he just kind of looked like a generic indie guy. Like, he looks like a worker now, and there's definitely room for improvement. In all honesty, like, if AEW has any fucking brains, they should know that MJF and Holiday as a dynamic together work.
True.
Like either together or opposing each other, either or.
Okay. I like the answer. All right. So before we get into anything specific to AEW or WWE, I did want to touch on one thing that caught my eye. We have a Ring of Honor World Champion.
Yeah.
So for those of you who were living under a rock over the past weekend, Ring of Honor had their Best in the World pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. And there was also, I believe, new tag team champions crowned as well. But the main fact was that Roosh lost the Ring of Honor World title to Bandito.
Mm-hmm.
That intrigued me a bit. Your thoughts on Bandito being the world champion, and your thoughts on Ring of Honor in general and how they did Best in the World.
I think it's a good clean slate for them now that they have fans back, and I think they really want to go in the right direction. Like Roosh had his time, and now they just it's if there was ever a time to go in a new direction, this is it. And Bandito was already over enough.
Yeah.
So this was the time. This was the time to strike. Like, especially because like how they just evenly transitioned him in with the survival of the fittest tournament, and then boom, right into the title match. Like, that's how Money in the Bank should work. Is solid mid card guy that is over, that you give that opportunity to, and bang. Like, that's the trajectory that needs to be done. But yeah, like, and I think it could open up a lot of possibilities for everything, as long as they, like, give Roosh his rematch or whatever, but let LFI go off and feud with someone else. Let Bandito hold his own.
Mm-hmm. And I did mention the tag titles.
Violence Unlimited, baby!
Dickinson and Homicide? Yeah. So, again, very intriguing. I know Gresham retained against Bennett.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about all I remember, honestly.
Deppen dropped the TV title.
Oh, who did Deppen face again?
Oh, fuck, I don't remember. Might have been Lethal.
So 3 title changes. I don't think the 6-man was on the line, and obviously the women's title is vacated right now. So, so 3 for 3 on title changes in one night. That's something you don't say a whole lot about really pay-per-views anywhere. Is seeing a whole sweeping change of all titles that are being defended.
The 6-man titles were on the line, but Shane Taylor Promotions defended that they retained against Dalton, Dak Draper, and
right. I forgot Dalton. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I didn't. Much as I love Dalton, he's a near dear friend of mine. That wasn't happening. So we could just move on from that. All right. Before we get all hot and angry, let's discuss some outside the ring WWE stuff. And one thing that caught my eye was Peacock pulled the plug on a couple of specials earlier this month. They pulled the plug on the debut of Lex Luger's Icons biography. And they also pulled the plug on Kevin Nash's appearance on the Broken Skull sessions with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now, from everything I've researched, there's no true rhyme or reason that's been given from either NBC Universal or from WWE as to why these specials got pulled. Now, when I say pulled, I don't mean they're never coming out. I just mean that their debuts have been delayed, essentially.
From what I saw, they just want to pull them back for bigger nights. So, like, one of them will come on right after Money in the Bank, and the other one after SummerSlam.
Which I can understand that, but to me, and you can say I'm just a stupid mark for saying this. Releasing Luger's on the 4th of July weekend, given that 4th of July was one of the biggest WWE moments of his career, that just made fucking sense.
You see, it would. However, you need to realize that was 20 years ago. Almost 20 years ago. No, more than 20 years ago. Almost 30 years ago.
30, yeah.
So your current demographic
doesn't make the connection.
Care. I mean, granted, here's a funny story.
Fuck the kids.
Fuck them kids. Here's a funny story I think it was 2 years ago. Our ring announcer, Matt James, was having a Lex Luger USS Intrepid anniversary on 4th of July weekend. And we happen to know somebody who knows we happen to know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who worked on the stuff for the network at the time, for like the extra items content that like didn't fall into anything but like the hidden gems.
Right.
And talk to a person. And that year they just happened to get the bug in their ear to air the entire USS Intrepid thing that happened that day as the hidden gem on the network.
Which, if you try doing that to yourself, I mean, you're really, really depressed and not in the right frame of mind. Because I'm not gonna lie, I was supremely bored one day. Not recently, but I do remember attempting to watch that whole thing. The one bit of entertainment I did get out of it was how I can clearly tell Yoko made a bad decision taking off his sandals.
Yeah.
And Fuji refused to let him put them back on as a rib. Yeah. He's like, motherfucker, you wrestle barefoot? You're going to stay barefoot this whole time. I don't give a shit if that ring is 120 degrees. You are going to stay barefoot.
I forget who it was. It was a kid that played basketball for UConn that had just gotten signed by the Hornets, I think. I think it was Scott Burrell or someone. Like, I forget because it's UConn basketball when I was younger. But I just remember he had just gotten signed to the NBA and he was there. And I remember he walked into the ring, just looked at Yoko and went, nah, and walked away.
I might have been Scott Burrell now that you mention it.
It was either Scott Burrell or Danielle Marshall.
It was Scott Burrell.
Okay.
I would remember Danielle. Nah, it's Scott Burrell. The randomness of never mind. Well, let's just say this: if you want to see the most random assortment of sports celebrities, look that up. July 4th, 1993, by the way. I did the math in my head while you were talking about the Matthew James story. So literally, we're talking over 28 years ago.
Yeah.
The 30-year anniversary is 2 years.
So it was the 25th. It was the 25-year anniversary. That's
2018. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Another thing WWE related I want to touch on. Voila. 2 injuries that have one that shook things up immediately. The other is leaving shit in a bind for one of the WWE brands. One thing that changed stuff immediately was Bayley. She got hurt during some training session that was apparently being run by Vince. Thank you, Vince. Good job.
Well, it wasn't run by him, but it was like mandatory for everyone.
Good job, Vince. Good way to injure one of your top stars on your Friday night brand. Good job. So Bayley gets hurt. She's out at least 9 months, according to WWE's timeline. So that leads to Carmella taking over her spot not her spot in Money in the Bank pay-per-view. They're moving the SmackDown title match to tonight, as we are recording this on Friday, July the 16th. So they moved that title match entirely out of the pay-per-view, put it on Friday Night SmackDown, where it's going to be Bianca and Carmella. And then they replaced Carmella in the Money in the Bank match, which we'll touch on in a little bit when we go through WWE's week in review. And so that's that. The second one, and this is the one I think you and I were both a little more rocked by. Walter, the 2-year-long United Kingdom heavyweight champion?
830 days.
830 days. Oh, you would know that number off the top of your head. He suffers an injury that now is preventing him from facing Dragunov. So they've been saying there's going to be more details released down the road.
See, I'm a little skeptical.
I'm interested to see how this works out. What are your thoughts on it to start off?
At first, I was like, "Oh shit," and then more reading into it, I'm like, "This just might be a work."
Okay, talk to me. Why are you thinking this?
Basically, they want to hold off that match for like
a live
NXT
crowd
takeover in front of a live crowd.
Okay.
Either that or I'm not sure, because like Walter's not going to the main roster. Walter already said he wants nothing to do with touring in America. Unless like they wanted, this is going to be the shitty way of them just stripping him of the fucking title, which would be fucking terrible and make no sense, because we've had plenty of champions in just the past 5 years that haven't competed in 30 days that have still been champion. So if they were to pull that bullshit with Walter, it would just like, it would lose so much morale and it would really be a blemish on the UK brand.
Speaking of the UK brand, so Tyler Bate beat Mark Coffey 2-1 to retain the Heritage Cup on NXT UK this week. I'm not saying that I've had any signals making me think this, but can we eventually see Tyler Bate versus Trent Seven for the Heritage Cup?
Oh yeah, guaranteed.
Like that's
the way Trent Seven, the way Tyler won it was defeating his protege. So the right thing to do would be for Trent Seven, for the protege to face the master again. Just
right.
Step up.
Yeah, like that's. I don't know why I've had this feeling. Like it's not like I don't think Trent's really given off any signals from what I've seen. I don't know. It's one of those weird things where, as a fan, you just get a gut feeling, but you don't know how to explain it.
They've been teasing wanting to do Bait versus Seven ever since they didn't win the tag titles in the tournament to crown the first NXT UK Tag Champs.
Right. Yeah. Again, I don't have any direct signals. I don't have any great reasoning, but that's just my thought process. Let's see if there's anything else to. Oh, okay. This is something I want to mention real quick. And this is not going to get a banner. I need to attack social media trolls for a second again.
Okay.
This is directly addressing Twitter. TikTok, I'm not going to have anything to say again because legitimately the day after I discussed TikTok on this show, I deleted the fucking app. So it's not on my phone anymore. Thank you. Take it a bow. Thank you very much. Thank you. Try the veal. I understand that social media and the internet itself over the last 20 plus years has completely fucked up any consideration for kayfabe in the business. Let's just be blunt about that. Which has allowed fans to not only have a greater understanding of the inner workings of the business, but a greater understanding of the personal lives of these men and women who work in the business. Let me make something perfectly clear. If a person, male or female, makes a mistake in their personal life, that doesn't mean you have the right to take that mistake and blame their significant other for that mistake.
Yeah.
Now, the reason I bring that up is because some assholes on Twitter, the keyboard warriors living in mommy's basement, who probably have sicky stuff all over their face from watching too much man-on-man porn, okay? They decided to attack Naomi for Jimmy Uso's DUI, blaming her for it happening, and it causing so much disgust with her that she deleted her fucking Twitter account. So every one of you that live in your mommy's basements who watch too much men's DP porn, let me explain something to you. You're the motherfuckers who are ruining the business, not just for other fans who are responsible and respectful, but you're ruining the business for the people themselves that are working in it and putting their lives and their families on the line 365 days a year. So all of you, go fuck yourselves and have a nice day. Is there anything you'd like to add to that, JJ? Does that pretty much sum it up pretty well?
That sums that up. But on the matter of social media, there's one thing I did want to bring up as an aside. This is more of a local issue as far as wrestling goes.
Okay.
But I just wanted to bring some light to it. And that is Atticus Monroe, the manager formerly known as Mr. Joseph DiNucci.
Yes.
He came out with a couple of statements this week, which
I did see myself as well.
He spoke out about a lot of things, and I just want to say it took a lot of courage, and it sucks that he kept that bottled up for so long. And he's a good kid, and he deserves better from this business. And I just want to make sure he's heard this time, because the last time he spoke out about someone, no one listened. And he even had fucking screenshots to prove that he wasn't lying, and people still told him he was lying.
You know, it's interesting you bring that up, because I saw what was put out there.
Yeah.
And it's the business is weird, man. Like, yeah. I can't even. There's no real way for me to explain it other than saying the business is weird.
Yeah.
I've always loved and appreciated his work. I know you have. You've booked him multiple times yourself. And the stuff he was doing a few years ago, you know, to me was like, how should I put this? it was like taking it was essentially taking what Marshall McNeil had done and giving it more modern day edge, I guess would be the best way to put it.
Yep.
And that's why I was attracted to to his character all the time. So it's a goddamn shame that the business, for lack of a better phrase, I guess you could say, disappointed and jaded him. Yeah, would be the best way to put it.
Yeah.
And I hope for the best. I hope that this can eventually be not necessarily water on the bridge between him and those at fault here, but between water on the bridge between him and the business in general, and that willing to give it another shot with the right people in the right frame of mind is the best way to put it.
Right. I told him numerous times. I'm like, if I was just like, if you want to just avoid the business from here on out, I completely understand. If you ever want to come back, my door is always open.
Damn right. Damn right. And my commentary table is always open because I think he'd be really good at commentary eventually too.
Yeah, that's a good possibility.
See? We're thinking. All right. Let's get into it. We've been avoiding it long enough. All right. Our new regular segment, AEWTF. Let me see if I have anything on my list here before we get into what you said. I mean, it's not AEW related, but I'll throw it out there. Maria Kanellis, I don't even know what the fuck her name is anymore. Saying nobody wants to work for WWE. I think the stupidity of the statement speaks for itself, and I don't really need to say anything. Considering it's a company that has assets amounting to almost $2 billion, but that's okay.
Dude, the whole thing with her is just, she is so fucking bitter, and it's like, what the fuck do you have to be bitter about? They brought you back, they signed your husband, who, yes, he has a modicum of talent, but I guarantee part of him getting signed was the fact that you were married to him. They bring both of you in. Right off the bat, he admits he has a drug problem. WWE pays for his rehab. The moment he comes back, you get fucking knocked up.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm not going to begrudge people for wanting to have a family, but like, you get knocked up. They try to work it into the fucking storyline. You go and you have the kid. The second you're ready to come back, you get fucking knocked up again. Like, that's just recklessness. So you want to sit there and go, no, bitch, you got to fucking sit home for the majority of 3 fucking years and get paid. Your husband got paid. They paid for his rehab, and he got paid. Don't give me that shit about no one wants to work for WWE.
And can we just rewind even further back and just be honest? Who the fuck is Maria Kanellis without WWE getting her Playboy cover?
Exactly.
So, yeah. That sums up everything, ladies and gentlemen, right there. All right, so let's get into... I know there's 3 specific things you mentioned about AEW. Number 1, I know you mentioned you want to talk about how the gloating going on that AEW broke the 1 million viewers mark this past week on Dynamite. Would you like to take it from here, sir?
Yes. Okay. So yes, Fyter Fest Night 1 drew 1.025 million viewers.
Congratulations.
Number one, as I mentioned last week or the week before, remember that whole, NXT can't draw people unless they make it a special event. And then if you look at the calendar, literally every AEW Dynamite in July is a special event. So, maybe if you didn't pull that bullshit. Number 2, AEW drew 1.025 million. Monday Night Raw, in its lowest rated night ever, which was last week, drew 1.475 million. So AEW on their best day still cannot touch Monday Night Raw on its worst day. And here we are every time AEW draws 1 million people, which has been 4 times, maybe 5 in 2 years. The fucking marks on fucking line act like fucking Tony Khan fucking cured AIDS. But every other week where they do shit numbers, we hear, well, no one really counts ratings. Ratings don't matter in this day and age. You can't have it both ways.
Yeah, I mean,
and this leads into my other statement about the 50 years, whatever.
Oh, please go into that, because that was the second thing I was going to bring up.
So the other argument that fucking people online are giving is WWE has been around for 50, 60, 70 years or whatever, and these are the numbers they're drawing. AEW has only been around for 2 years, and they're nipping at their heels. That shows AEW is doing something right. No, it fucking doesn't. Because judging by that fucking comparison of you should have so many more because you've been on so long, that would mean that the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon should be drawing 80 million people a fucking night. Not only that, but that would mean that if you want to talk it in wrestling forms, because if you're going to say I'm apples and oranges, if you want to talk it in wrestling, Impact, ROH, and MLW have all been around for almost 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And they all have TV deals. By that judgment, they should be doing AEW numbers or WWE numbers by now. It's not the way it is. The wrestling business, televised professional wrestling as a whole, is a diminished business right now. It's been said by Eric Bischoff. It's been said by Jim Cornette. It's been said by Bruce Pritchard. It's been said by every fucking person who has a fucking podcast. It's not like it was during the Attitude Era. There are way more choices now of things to watch, and wrestling is not the most popular fucking thing. Wrestling has taken its blows over the fucking years. Go ahead.
Can I also mention what's erupted over the last 20 years since the Attitude Era ended?
MMA?
No. It was kind of to go along the lines of what you were just saying. 3 words. Reality TV shows.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, reality TV didn't exist in the Attitude Era, hence why they were able to get away with so much shit and draw so many viewers. Now you've got, and this is just one channel I'm bringing up, Big Brother, Amazing Race, Survivor, Love Island, and that's just CBS. Yep. Don't forget ABC with Bachelor, and you got fucking American Idol on Fox and The Voice on NBC and all kinds of other shit.
Fucking USA bringing back goddamn Temptation Island. No one wanted that shit again.
So, like, things have evolved in the TV business over the last 20 to 25 years. So, yeah, I mean, and let's be honest with ourselves. The wrestling business in general is very much a peaks and valleys kind of business, all right? Yes. Exactly. And, you know, the crazy part is people are hard to accept the valleys and don't properly appreciate the peaks.
Right.
So it's like, motherfuckers, it is what it is right now. Live with it. It's okay. Just stay with it.
And like I mentioned a few weeks back when we were talking about possible sale and how, like, what it would do, and how it's like, it reminds me of where Marvel was at before Disney bought them. They were in a major valley. Like, no one was, like, Marvel movies weren't a thing. Like, you got one every once in a while that was an offshoot, but no one, besides Spider-Man, no one was doing shit. Then Disney came along and created the MCU, and all of a sudden, boom, it's the biggest thing on the fucking planet. Peaks and valleys.
Exactly. And the thing is, that's not just a wrestling thing. I mean, he gave Marvel as an example. I'll give you another example. And this is, I don't know how well educated you are about this stuff. Sports cards.
Yes.
For the last few years, sports cards have been spiking up in prices. But let me tell you, the last 6 months, partially because of COVID, but the last 6 months, card prices have started to dip down again. Why? Because there's less demand now than there was 2-3 years ago, before we had a fucking worldwide pandemic.
Right.
Right. That's why you're seeing the price of Jordan rookie cards going from $600K back down to like $200K. All right. Peaks and valleys. The sports card business is like that. Wrestling business is like that. I mean, basically any kind of business that isn't like a consistently demanded brand day in and day out is gonna be peaks and valleys. There's no such thing as reaching a high and then basically plateauing and staying at that high. It rarely exists in any kind of business.
It's just the neighbors.
Sorry, I love dogs
It's just the neighbors. Calm down.
imitating them. Oh man. But yeah, like people, I mean, you need to get off your high horse. Just let it be, and just enjoy what you have. Right. There's no need to try and make. It's funny because it seems like you would think that. All right, let me rewind. In the 80s and the 70s, there was some serious dislike, we'll say, between NWA and WWF back in the day.
Yeah.
Okay. And even in the early 90s. But then all of a sudden, once these workers started recognizing they're all in the same business, they're all going through the same shit together, all of a sudden you have all these guys being friends to the point where now, like, you see, and I know you don't like this person, but it's just a figure going to pop my head. You have Kenny Omega and the Bucks doing video game stuff at conventions with the New Day. All right? Like, these guys, it's like things reversed. Like, the fans were all happy-go-lucky, you know, oh, great, more businesses, more good stuff for us, and the workers hate each other. Now in 2021, the workers all get along and can, you know, between the different companies, but all the fans are extremely divisive. It's like, motherfuckers, just, whatever. Anyways, I'm done with that. All right, Darby, you want to mention something about Darby and how he, about his coffin match with Ethan Page?
Yeah, I turned on the last 10 minutes of fucking Fyter Fest because like my phone was getting blown up by people watching it, and I was like, I'm not watching this. Stop giving me a play-by-play. I don't fucking care. I'm not even home. Stop.
And that was not me. That was not me, by the way.
It wasn't you. No, it wasn't you. Fucking. So I turned this shit on, and number one, if I hear Jim Ross one more time saying the first ever coffin match. Okay, first ever coffin match in AEW? Yes. First ever coffin match? No. That would be Dusty and Nikita Koloff.
Yeah, he was leaving out that very important phrase.
Right.
Like I noticed, like Excalibur would say in AEW, but JR was
yeah. And that's the thing is, like, this whole feud culminated in another company. Like, it's literally AEW going, we don't know what to do, and fucking building off of something that was featured on an episode of The Wrestlers. Like, that's the only reason, like, they know Darby and Ethan can work each other because they've done it before.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's all. And, like, the opener, like, they did the hot start where Darby was wearing a fucking coat or whatever and gives him a coffin drop right from the beginning and takes off his coat and is wearing a metal plate that's braced to his back. Like, it looked like fucking tinfoil. But then he takes it off. I'm like, if you're going to do the coffin drop again, why don't you just keep that shit on? Why don't you be like D'Lo Brown with a chest protector? Why are you going to take that off? That was your opening spot. And then they do the whole shit, and fucking Scorpio Sky was hiding in the coffin, and then Sting, like, lumbers out and follows him away. Mm-hmm. And then he wins. It's like, the babyface wins. Dude's in the coffin, and Darby positions him over and gets up and decides to do a coffin drop off of the fucking top rope down through the coffin on the floor. which just showed that the coffin was made out of particle board because the top just fucking splintered into nothingness. But I'm like, dude, number one, you're the baby face. You don't need to do that. You already won the match. Number two, that's fucking stupid. Number three, that's fucking unsafe for both you and the guy in the fucking coffin. Like, fuck Darby Allin. Seriously, fuck Darby Allin. And fuck his wife, not Tony Storm.
I thought he was divorced.
Oh, is he now? I don't know. Then his ex-wife is not Tony Storm on fucking NXT.
Priscilla Kelly. Well, now she's Gigi Dolan on NXT.
Yeah, not Tony Storm.
But they are split. They were split as of last year.
Oh, okay. So they got the money from the reality show and then said, fuck it.
Yeah.
Stop hiring reality stars to become wrestlers.
There's only one that really worked.
Miz, baby. And he was actually working indies when he was doing that shit. So
Correct. That's correct. Let's see. Do I have anything else? Oh!
shitty ass video game.
Yes, go ahead.
Dude, but they mentioned they just spent they're actually in the red because they got the money from TNT and invested more than that into their video game division. And then they just released their first game and it's a fucking mobile app and it looks exactly like the fucking Chikara game that was a ripoff of WWE Champions, which was a free fucking app. And it's basically just a ripoff of Bejeweled. Like, this is what you spent $40 million on.
If you really want to look it up, it's called, I believe, Elite GM, is what I believe it's called.
Yeah.
Go look it up.
Yeah.
If you really feel like it.
And getting back to the whole million viewers, blah, blah, blah thing, like, y'all motherfuckers don't realize that WCW was beating WWE in the ratings for 2 years, and in the end, it didn't fucking matter because they ended up dying out. These motherfuckers aren't even fucking sniffing the fucking throne, and these people are acting like they're going to put Vince out of business.
All right. I think that's enough to AEW for one day. Oh, by the way, just to prove that I was not the one trying to give play-by-play of Fyter Fest Night 1 to JJ, I only watched one match, and it was the opening match because I deemed it to be the only match worth watching on the show, which was Moxley versus Carl Anderson for the IWGP US title. Which, by the way, you mentioned something before we went on the air about how you think AEW is going to be in hot shit with New Japan.
Mark my words, these title matches that they're throwing out aren't being approved by New Japan. They're just fucking doing them because they're like, oh, well, as long as Moxley doesn't drop the belt, it doesn't matter. And they're only having them work people that have worked New Japan. That's why they did Carl Anderson. That's why they're doing Lance Archer because they think it's safe. They're going to end up hamstringing themselves because New Japan's going to get fucking pissed at this shit because New Japan's going to be like, yo, we have a dojo in America. We want to push this title on our dojo show, and here you are just pulling this shit out on your show without our permission.
Yeppers, welcome to AEW. Hi, we fuck shit up. All right, let's get into the week in review for WWE, beginning with just to kind of gloss over it, last Friday's SmackDown. So we saw Seth Rollins and King Nakamura, as he's now being called. Those two win their Money in the Bank qualifiers. So I alluded to this earlier with the Bayley injury. So they moved the Women's SmackDown title match off the Money in the Bank pay-per-view this weekend to SmackDown tonight, as I mentioned, we are recording this on Friday, the 16th of July. And named the opponent for Bianca Belair to be Carmella, which then means she's out of the Money in the Bank ladder match this Sunday. Liv Morgan came out pissing and moaning, and Sonya said, "Shut the fuck up. You're the replacement." That's essentially what happened there. And then
Can we just talk about how? Can we just talk about how the women's Money in the Bank match on the SmackDown side literally had 0 qualifying matches?
Yeah, it was literally just Sonya naming the participants.
And for the last two, it wasn't even Sonya. It was just
and Twitter.
Yeah, it was just Twitter and Facebook going
Twitter
here.
Account.
I hear Natty and Tamina and Cuz.
Yeah, fuck it. It's kind of like the guys in Creative World just too drunk to care, and they're like, "Oh, fuck it, oh. Let's just stick the tag champions in there and call it a day."
We're gonna put girls in there because reasons.
Basically. And then most of the rest of the show was about Roman and the Usos and essentially setting up what's going to be, I believe, tonight's SmackDown main event, which is a 6-man tag, yes. Edge and the Mysterios against Roman and the Usos.
I can't wait to hear those boos.
One quick thing I want to mention, okay? One quick thing I want to mention. Natalya and Tamina lost a non-title match against a new tag team, Shotzi Blackheart and Tegan Nox. But okay. And they also announced Tony in a vignette. They announced Tony Storm coming to SmackDown soon. But there's something specific there I want to get to. If I know that it's Vince and it's not Triple H when you're transitioning from NXT to the main brands, but why does Vince constantly insist on fucking with their names? Like, honestly, Knox sounds fucking stupid. Unless you're bringing in Mike Knox, you want to call him just Knox. Like that.
They did that in Impact. They called him Nux.
I could. Jesus Christ. I could live with that. But calling Tegan Knox just sounds fucking stupid. Like, I can't tell you how much some of these name shortenings irritate me. Like I understood Big E Langston going to just Big E because nobody really gave a fuck about him being Langston. All right, let's just be clear on that. Big E is Big E. That's what everyone called him. Nobody really called him Big E Langston. They just called him Big E. I understood that. But fuck's sake, like, whatever. Maybe I'm just overreacting, but like some of these name shortenings they're just dumb. They're done for no reason.
It's because Vince thinks that every fan that he has goldfish brain. So he tries to simplify it. I don't really care about that. I'm pissed at the fact that
it's Tegan Knox.
Yeah, it's Tegan Knox. Apparently, Vince didn't pay attention to the fact that, oh, well, we've had her signed for this many years. We should bring her up. Yeah, and she's been injured 75% of that fucking time. She's terrible. She's the female Kevin Nash. She's going to blow out her knee in 3 fucking weeks, which I thought that was stupid until I saw what the fuck happened was announced on social media yesterday about the other trade.
Huh?
Oh, yeah, there was a trade.
This is what I got for working a baseball doubleheader yesterday. Please inform me.
Mandy Rose has been traded to NXT.
Oh, right. Well, Mandy Rose was on NXT this week, so I mean...
She's been traded.
She was officially traded for, though.
Yes. You know who they traded for her? Aaliyah.
So that kills the entire basis of the fucking storyline they just created.
Not only that, but you're bringing a girl to the main roster that has literally been in training since Dusty was still alive, who has been that fucking terrible.
True.
Who could not get over no matter what.
Yeah. The only reason she got over earlier this week on NXT is because she smacked the shit out of Robert Stone.
Yeah, that was to split her from them and to put fucking Robert Stone and Queen Kamehameha with fucking with fucking Frankie Monet,
which then puts them with Mandy Rose.
No, Mandy Rose is going to be on her own.
Wait. Hold on. Okay. So everything that just happened on NXT this past week basically doesn't mean a fucking thing.
Basically.
Storyline-wise. Because story-wise, you would think it makes sense that now, okay, Mandy Rose is coming in to be with Frankie and Jesse Kamea. But no, we're just gonna have that be like a one-off for no fucking reason, and she's just gonna do her own thing.
No, it's a one-off for Mandy Rose to be like, I'm here, look at me. And in the meantime, Frankie Monet, because they set it up the week before, was I am going to take over the Robert Stone brand and fucking actually get people wins.
So
But
basically, what you say the Trish Stratus lookalike Halloween contest that she pulled off on NXT.
Yeah.
You saw the comparison, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, it's just like, so you just split up Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, so you never finished that fucking storyline with them having a tag. Not that I wanted to see it, but you completely nixed that tag title match they had with fucking Natty and Tamina. You completely nixed, not that I wanted to see it, but you completely nixed Tegan Knox versus Candice LeRae. Like why the fuck didn't they bring up Shotzi and Ember? I don't fucking get it. Like, is Vince?
I don't know what was wrong there. I thought Shotzi and Ember were really good. They were very good tag team
together well, and they were over as fuck.
And they had chemistry, which is something that lacks in the women's tag team division. There is actually one other thing I thought about from SmackDown that I want to bring up. Did you actually watch Bell to Bell, the Rollins Cesaro match?
I tried to. I didn't catch.
So did you see the spot where Cesaro got slingshot into the exposed turnbuckle?
Yes.
Now, whenever I can tell a spot like that is coming, and I'm anticipating, the work of the juice. I'm always looking for the split second where. You know what I'm talking about. Right. I couldn't find it.
No, because it didn't happen there. They did that, and then Seth gave him the DDT on the ramp, and then while the camera was off, it was a packet.
Oh, okay. See, I thought he hard-weighted on the turnbuckle for a second.
Packet.
Okay.
You can tell it was a packet because the red was too bright.
Okay. See, which is why I didn't that's why I wasn't 100% sure, because I was like, maybe, I was kind of 50-50 on it, and I just wanted to ask you about it.
Here was the given. The red was too bright. It was splayed too much. The ref did not put on gloves.
I did notice that. What was it? I don't think it was Charles. Was it Charles? It might have been Charles.
I think so, yeah.
I can't remember. I think it was Charles. Yeah, that made that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was a packet.
Okay. Gotcha. All right, so I wrapped up SmackDown. Raw, the go-home Raw for Money in the Bank, which was pre-taped, by the way.
Yes.
And is the last official show that was done live or taped in the Thunderdome.
Oh, God. Fucking, how many people I saw bitch, why didn't they give a 10 bell to Paul Orndorff? I'm like, because it was pre-recorded, you dumb fucks.
Yeah. People don't pay attention. We know this already. Woods wins the non-title match against Lashley, or LSD, I should say.
Trashly.
Can we just end this Eva Marie Piper shit already?
Oh, God, I wish.
The playground wasn't even worth talking about. Ginger and Drew had their whole thing where I took your sword, but it wasn't the real sword, and now I'm going to ruin your bike, which is the real bike. Whatever.
Dude, you know what's really fucked up? That was to sell a fucking toy.
I'm assuming you're talking about the sword.
No, the fucking motorcycle.
The motorcycle's a toy?
1 second. I will fucking pull up this image.
What are we doing?
This is literally to sell a fucking toy.
So you're saying it was an advertisement in disguise?
Basically. Here, let me pull. Come on. Where are you? Come on. Fucking load, fucker.
So there's a toy version of this motorcycle that they were selling?
It is a toy motorcycle.
Ginger ride it?
It's a toy motorcycle that comes with a Drew figure that you could that you can smash.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
Fucking.
Oh man, They think of some random weird shit, man. I don't even know where to go with that. Well, while you're looking that up, Nikki Ash wins the 4-way.
Found it. Wrecking Slam Cycle.
Oh, wow. Oh, boy. Okay. Lovely.
It was to sell a fucking toy.
Great. Nikki Ash wins the 4-way against Asuka, Naomi, Alexa. The Raiders and Styles and Omos split a series of singles matches. Sheamus, so basically Daniel Bryan's Humberto. If you don't get what I mean by that, go watch, I think it was WrestleMania.
Well, he did attack him beforehand, too.
7. Was it 27? 28? Yeah. Whatever match had the 10-second WWE match that Sheamus basically bro-kicked Daniel and got the 1-2-3 right away. That
People
whatever
still
the rest,
remember it, though.
Whatever WrestleMania that was. Well, I mean, come on, it's hard to forget that. Right, I mean, Daniel comes out, kisses AJ Lee on the apron, bell rings, bro-kick pin.
This is the whole thing that I love giving this argument to marks because it pisses them off so much, is people keep bitching about blah, 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 and Daniel Bryan got buried. I'm like, you remember it happening, though, don't you? Yeah, that's called a WrestleMania.
But it didn't bury him because he was...
No, because
he was hated beyond belief when he broke up with AJ the next episode of SmackDown.
Right, but the thing was, people were like, he deserved a longer match, blah, blah, blah. They had a longer match on the following pay-per-view. Does anyone remember that match? No. You know what they remember? 8 seconds at WrestleMania. That's what they remember. WrestleMania moments. That's what Vince does.
Well, true. Yes.
But yeah, anyways, so they have Sheamus go from the guy that injured him to the guy that injured Miz. Real smart.
Oh, right, because Priest came out to make sure Creo didn't get messed up even more.
Damian Priest came out and went, I'm tall and I speak Spanish. That's all his gimmick
Which means you saw your next U.S. champion, by the way.
No, not happening. Not happening.
You never know.
Not happening. He hurt Miz. He's never getting a fucking belt.
Ricochet beat Morrison in a Falls Count Anywhere match.
That was a decent match.
It's Ricochet and Morrison. It's hard for them to have a bad match, to be honest. Rhea beats Natalia non-title match. Basically, we're going to shit on the women's tag team champions is what the creative has decided to do. Another VIP lounge where it kind of looks like Lashley might be done with MVP, might not. Who the fuck
No,
knows?
He's not done with MVP. He just wants to go back to being a beast, and it's not going to matter. Because you're going to go through Kofi, and then you're going to have to drop the title of Goldberg.
Which we're going to get to in a few minutes. Then, real quick, NXT, we had Dakota beat Ember Moon in the opening match, and then Xia Li came out and challenged Raquel for a title match. Who cares?
I do, because I like Xia Li, but after she hurt Mercedes, like, what the fuck? This is the new thing? You injure someone and you get a title shot? Damian Priest, Xia Li.
You're noticing the trend. Good job. Bobby Fish gets jobbed out to Tyler Rust from the Diamond Mine.
Bobby Fish.
But then Kushida prevents him getting beat up by the Diamond Mine, so now it's setting up a tag match against Strong and Rust. Yep. Gigi, who you were just mentioning a moment ago, lost to Sarai.
Not Toni Storm.
Correct. Which I had to do a double take on because I knew who she was. I couldn't remember who she was, though, because of the new name. Santos Escobar beats Dexter Loomis. And then Indy Hartwell tries to kiss Dexter and Candice pushes her off. Can we just... Never mind. I want Index. I'm sorry. I'm a sob.
It's getting over, so that's cool. I mean, like, Santos going over Dexter doesn't hurt Dexter over. Dexter's going to be over no matter what.
Right. Duke Hudson beat Jiro in the first breakout tournament quarterfinal match, which...
That was decent.
Yeah, it was decent. It was decent. Casey and Kane beat Lee and Kamea, which we already kind of referred to earlier. Cole and Bronson Reed had a segment that I guess basically set up a match between them eventually, which, I'm not a fan of. And
it'll be Bronson Reed's go away. It'll be like, I'm going to work Adam Cole, and then I'm going to go up to Raw, and Adam Cole's still going to be down here.
Yeah, it could be. And then Cross successfully defends his title against Gargano and then decides, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to choke out Samoa Joe after the match.
I'm amazed. I was smelling screw job, but it didn't happen. But I feel like
did not.
However, I feel like this might be like other way of screw job. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they pulled some bullshit where Cross comes out on Wednesday and Joe was like, you put your hands on an official, you're stripped of the title.
Don't like it. Don't like it.
And then Cross quits and shows up on Raw.
Don't like it.
I don't like it either. But
that's not a good way that's not a good way to change your belt.
No, it's not a good way. But the problem is they painted themselves into a corner where Cross is undefeated, and he's beaten every person they put in. They haven't built up any contenders. And Joe is hurt. Joe is not going to work him. No matter how much they need to stop doing on NXT, is they need to stop teasing all these possible Samoa Joe feuds where he gets in the face of Pete Dunne, gets in the face of Adam Cole, gets in the face of... He's concussed like a motherfucker. He's not working again. You will sooner get fucking William Regal back in that fucking ring than you will Samoa Joe.
Which I may or may not have mentioned as a dream match for me, but that's okay.
But I mean, and this is the problem. And this is the problem. Like, it's the corner they painted themselves in with Keith Lee. They put out the belt, and I mentioned this last week. They put the belt on Keith Lee. They had him vacate the Northeast or the North American, and then literally in his first defense, they had him job to Karrion Kross. And then literally Kross is like he's undefeated, just like with Asuka. You built a monster up where you if he was gonna lose, it would have been either in that multi-man or it would have been in a true guy. You can't just... The only way to fucking get him to the main roster now is to strip him of the title, unfortunately.
So you're saying they paint themselves in the corner, kind of like putting a belt on Christian Frost?
I
had to drop an indie reference. I'm sorry. I had to.
Fuck. Seriously. Oh my fucking God.
Oh man, I'm funny. I'm a funny guy sometimes. I really am. All right. I'm sorry. Have I ruined the show for you by mentioning that name?
That fucking Mark literally went everywhere with that fucking belt. Posting selfies everywhere of him with that fucking belt. Like it was real. Showing up at shows he's not booked on, sitting in the crowd with that fucking belt.
Was he also doing like cell phone promos while driving in his car with the belt on him or some shit like that?
Yes.
And
then he shows up at WWE with the fucking belt.
Because that's smart. That's fucking smart.
That was the last straw. That was when Eric was like, fuck it, we're done using you.
Man, oh man. All right. Let's get into it. Money in the Bank. Where should we start? Let's go into the two tag team title matches. And yes, I say two because there was a new one added earlier today before we started recording this. Again, recording this Friday, July 16th. The one just announced was the Mysterios will defend the SmackDown Tag Team titles against the Usos. I know what we're both hoping. Do you think we actually get what we're hoping?
Oh, yeah. We're going with Usos. We're getting Samoan Empire.
Okay. All right. Then let's move on to the Raw Tag titles, which is AJ Styles and Omos. They'll defend against the Viking Raiders. I'm 50-50 on this one. I'm kind of thinking they stick with AJ and Omos, but I'm not completely sold.
No, the Omos experiment has ended. they've realized that he is more clunky in the ring than El Gigante. And
that's quite clunky.
Like, dude, like watch him fucking shoot off the ropes. He does it like El Gigante did. Like, he is fucking clumsy. Like, I'm pretty sure that experiment is done, and they want to get tag team back to tag team and fucking have AJ available for if they want to trade him back to fucking SmackDown again.
Oh, I feel bad for the wrestling version of Taco Fall.
Mutombo will be just fine. He's still getting paid.
No. If you've never seen the Geico commercial with Dikembe and Mutombo,
Not
go look
today.
it up. Not today, my friend. What else we got here? Raw Women's title match. Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair.
I see Rhea finally going over clean.
I think we're just leading to Rhea. We're leading to one of two things. We're either leading to Rhea and Charlotte having a match at SummerSlam, or we're leading to Rhea defending at SummerSlam against somebody else. It's somebody that we haven't seen in a while. That's apparently going to be at. What's up?
I can see Rhea and Becky.
Yeah. The rumor has it that Becky's going to be at the show on Sunday. So Rhea Becky would be option B at this point. But I think honestly I think they stick with the Rhea Charlotte thing at least through SummerSlam and then go from there. That's my thought. Then we have the two heavyweight title matches. Firstly, the WWE title, Kofi challenging Lashley, which brings us to what you were referring to earlier. LSD our assumption would be that there's a 95% chance he retains because the rumor mill is saying that we're looking at a potential Lashley Goldberg match at SummerSlam. Yay! Because everybody wants to see a 45-year-old wrestle a 55-year-old. Yay!
But you know what's funny? People act like Lashley and Brock would be this technical classic. It would be just as bad as Lashley and Goldberg. Just saying.
Except I think there's less likelihood to get hurt. Like, when I say hurt, I mean, like, Brock doesn't really do anything that could potentially paralyze you like Goldberg almost did to The Undertaker a few years ago.
Bullshit! Dude, Brock does not give a fuck with those German suplexes.
Well, I mean, look, here's the thing, though. Lashley, physique-wise, is more built in the trapezius area, and he's got more muscles than I've got, than I can name muscles, okay? He has more protection around that neck and shoulder area than most guys would have going against Brock. So that's why I eliminate the Brock idea of the German suplexes. Goldberg has a move where if he's fucked up enough, he can potentially drop you on your head on accident and fuck you up permanently.
Yeah.
Fucking Goldberg Undertaker. I can't believe they actually tried that match a few years ago. Fuck my life.
Saudi blood money, baby.
I know. The other heavyweight title match, Roman and Edge. I have zero opinion about this until I see SmackDown tonight. Because everything so far has been pointing Edge, which usually means the champ retains at the pay-per-view.
Uh-huh.
If they continue with the Edge push, then I agree with you. Samoan Empire gets crowned on Sunday with the Usos and Roman. If they give Roman and Usos an upper edge, then I'm a lot more 50-50 like I am right now about this title match. I still think Roman in the end. And maybe they push this rivalry also towards SummerSlam so they get a bigger payoff. But
I mean, word out of everywhere is John Cena's coming back.
Fuck John Cena. There, I said it. Listen. John, I'm talking to you. I know you're in either LA or West Newbury. I know you're listening on Spotify or Apple or Google Play, wherever you like listening to your podcasts. So, John, I want you to get real nice and close to your speaker or headphones for this one. Just retire. Go in the Hall of Fame. Continue making your money doing Suicide Squad movies and Fast 10, 11, 12, 2000 movies, and fuck off. Nobody.
That's how you really feel.
Nobody should surpass the Nature Boy. Suck a dick. Goodbye. Nobody should get 17. Nobody.
Cena agrees with that.
So fuck off. And Vince, stop trying to force it. Stop trying to tease it. Fuck off. God. All right. Now we get to the two most.
Had the same mentality years ago.
Now we get to the two most intriguing matches of the evening because they involve the most participants and there's a lot of options to go with. Let's start with the women's Money in the Bank match because I feel like it's a lot less appealing to John Q fan than the men's match.
Yeah. The
women's match we have on the Raw side, Asuka, Naomi, Alexa Bliss, Nikki Ash. On the SmackDown side, we have Liv Morgan, Zelina Vega, and your women's tag champs, Natalya and Tamina.
Not enough.
I want to say, I'm trying to think. Didn't Asuka already win Money in the Bank at one point?
Yeah, last year.
I'm thinking Alexa or Nikki.
Yeah, I'm thinking Alexa.
I'm thinking Alexa just because the character. I mean, need I say more? And the reason I'm saying Nikki is because, which goes against the mentality I just mentioned about the Roman Edge match. And the reason I'm going opposite that mentality here is because they tend to be less creatively inclined when it comes to booking the women. They've just shoved Nikki in front of us for 6 weeks. And I almost feel like they're kind of doing that. The problem being, how legitimate do you take her on a brand which will have Charlotte, Rhea, when she comes back, Becky, Asuka? That's the one problem I have. Even Alexa, that's the one problem I have. So, as much as I think Nikki would be the feel-good story, I agree with you. I think it's Alexa. So,
I think Alexa. I think they're going to pull some shit where, instead of her carrying on the briefcase, it'll be like a lunchbox.
Oh, for God's sake!
I'm serious.
That would be some interesting trickery to use with the. I don't know. I don't know how the hell you do that, but we'll see.
So she could carry around fucking swing set and shit.
You mean after the match turned into a lunchbox?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, you know, how Punk and RVD had the airbrush fucking cases and shit.
Right.
Instead of her carrying around the suitcase, it'll be a fucking lunchbox.
I was about to say, how the fuck would you do that mid-match? But anyways, hey, they've done more hokey shit in recent years. Who knows? Right. Didn't Damian Sandow have a gold briefcase too?
Probably.
I think when he won
Money in the Bank,
he had a gold brief. Yeah, well, that's because Cody Rhodes stole it at one point and threw it in the fucking river.
Yeah.
Wow, I just brought up a WWE Cody Rhodes moment. Somebody throw me through a wall. All right. The other Money in the Bank match, the men's side. On Raw, we have representing Ricochet, Morrison, Riddle, and Drew. The men's side for SmackDown, Big E, KO, King Nakamura, Seth Rollins. I'm going to go out and say it right now. And I've been saying this for weeks, but I've got an added. I have an additional thought process to this match. I've been saying for weeks Big E's going to win it. As soon as I saw he was in a qualifying match, I've been saying Big E winning. Okay? Here's my thought process. Big E wins, eventually gets sent to Raw, reunites with the New Day to be the savior for them to finally get over on Lashley and bring the belt home to New Day.
Well, the thing is,
the
thing is, with the Money in the Bank, he doesn't even need to get traded. He can just fucking show up. Yeah.
And here's the other side of it, though. I think, and you can call me psycho for thinking this, I think we already know the guy that, barring anything weird happening, I think we already know the guy that's going to take the belt off Roman. You can go ahead and guess.
Drew?
No. I'll give you a hint. He's already on SmackDown. Okay. Here's my thought process. I think there's going to be fuckery in this Money in the Bank ladder match.
Okay.
I think Cesaro fucks over Seth. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. I think we get a final blow off at SummerSlam because I think they'll do something stupid with Roman. Like it'll probably be Roman Edge 2 or Roman, and I don't know. They'll do something with Roman and Edge, I think, at SummerSlam. So to keep that going, I think you're going to have a final blow off big stipulation match between Cesaro and Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. I believe Cesaro wins, and they're saving Cesaro winning the title for in front of a crowd. I think Cesaro's the one that takes it from Roman.
I don't think I see it happening.
I don't think you. I know you'd say that, but I don't know. I just have a gut feeling about it. I think, and I know that like Cesaro, because here's the thing: like there's certain guys that, as certain people put it, don't need a belt. And Cesaro kind of falls in that category.
Yeah.
But I just find it hard to believe that you book Cesaro the way you've booked him against a world champion talent like Seth for all these months, and there's no ultimate payoff in the end somehow for Cesaro.
You're not familiar with the WWE creative team, are you?
Well, no shit. I mean, I get what you're saying there. I don't know. I think if everybody had common sense in the room, that's what would happen. But again, like you just mentioned, it's WWE creative. They can't make sense of 1 week to the next. So I don't know. I guess that's my pipe dream. All right, there. We'll call that my pipe dream for the next 3 months of WWE creative. And if it doesn't happen, then we'll just pretend this moment never happened on the podcast. We'll just erase it from history.
See, I would sooner see Cesaro getting traded to Raw and chasing the title on Raw.
I don't think he... I can see Lashley... never mind. I'm going to let that go. I'm not... All right, fuck it. I think I could see LSD hurting Cesaro.
Well, yeah.
Because...
But who's to say Lashley's still going to be champ by that time?
You want me to chase Big E?
No.
Goal? I can't believe I just said that. Oh, I can't believe I just said that. No, that can't happen. That can't happen. That can't happen. It won't happen. It won't happen.
Here's a possibility for you.
Existence.
Here's a possibility for you because you didn't ask. You haven't gotten to who I think is going to win the Money in the Bank match.
Oh shit, my bad. Dude, my head is not here. Sorry. Go ahead.
So I honestly think the person who's going to win Money in the Bank is Matt Riddle. And then think about this. Matt Riddle cashing in on Goldberg. All of that bullshit internet heat.
Oh my
Boom.
god!
And then
You sure Bill would go for that?
And
I mean, not that there's a choice.
And then Riddle wins, and boom, gets nailed by Randy Orton. Double cross.
I mean, I know he doesn't have a choice in the matter because it's Vince's product, but you think Bill would really go for that?
He doesn't care. He dropped the fucking title to Braun without an issue.
It's Braun.
I don't think he wanted the title to begin with, but they fucking booked that shit in Saudi Arabia, and the fucking Saudi prince was just like, money, do this shit.
He was creaming himself over Goldberg. All right, yeah, okay. I mean, I could see that too, I suppose.
Riddle cashing in on Goldberg would make people pop like a son of a bitch. Every internet mark would literally have their head explode.
I don't like how correct you can be sometimes. I hate you. All right. So, we're finally here. We're finally going to fulfill something we teased for 2 weeks now. Well, 2 shows. It's been 3 weeks and 2 episodes. But we're finally going to fulfill what we've been teasing. All right? It's the hot list, but it's not the hot list. There's no formal structure to this week's hot list. Okay? I don't have 5 teams written down. In fact, I only have 1 team written down right now. I'm sure I'll think of somebody else in the midst of this conversation. But for those of you who have been living under a rock, about a month or so ago, WWE released a special in 5 parts, because they had to split into groups of 10, on the WWE Network, exclusively on Peacock, of the 50 greatest tag teams in WWE history. Or at least they labeled it, yes, they labeled it WWE's 50 greatest tag teams of all time. Now, I'm just going to scroll through here quick. So, just for reference point, this list also included NXT, which I say, what the fuck, but that's not here nor there, apparently. And it does include some WWF tag teams. Mm-hmm. So with that said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to include, if you are watching the show on YouTube, I'm going to include a link to the full list I have that I found that just lists the 50. It's not a link to the network. It's a list from a reputable wrestling information site that I found that has just the full list right in order, 50 down to 1. So I'll put that a link in the description of this video on YouTube. So if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever else you listen to your podcasts, go check out the YouTube video of this show. Just look up the channel Godzilla Media, and you'll find White Heat episode 9, and that's the show you're going to want to pull up. So I'll just reveal the top 10 real quick, and then we can get into our bitching, whining, and complaining of the list. Number 10 were the British Bulldogs, Davey Boy Smith and Dynamite Kid. Number 9, the Brothers of Destruction, Kane and Undertaker. Number 8, the New Age Outlaws. If you don't know who the New Age Outlaws are, fuck off. 7, the Usos. 6, the Legion of Doom, or the Road Warriors, whatever you want to call them. Number 5, the Dudley Boys, Bubba Ray and Devon. Number 4, Edge and Christian. Number 3, the Hart Foundation, Brett and Jim Anvil. Number 2, the Hardy Boys. Number 1, the New Day. See, I was looking at a different web window when I was just reading that list. I think he pounded his head on the desk. I can't really tell. JJ, you there? Okay, yes, good. I want to make sure you didn't just give yourself a concussion a la Bill Goldberg. Anyways, so how do you want to do this? Do you want to tear the list apart top to bottom? Do you want to just throw out who you think got excluded that should have been in there?
Oh, there's quite a few that got excluded that should have been in there.
Okay. I'll let you take the lead on where you want to go with this right now.
So as far as top 50 goes, number one, there's some teams in here that weren't even fucking teams. I'm sorry, but the fucking Mega Powers had what, 2 matches? Maybe 3?
Yeah, them being at number 13 is pretty goddamn ridiculous.
They shouldn't be on the list at all.
I'm not sure.
They had what, 3 matches?
Let me go along with that. Let me go along with that thought process for a second here.
Mm-hmm.
The Brothers of Destruction were really more a gimmick than anything else. They weren't really
but they did tag enough and held titles together.
Correct. I'd say the same kind of goes for the Rock and Sock connection. Again, more gimmick. Yes, I know they won the tag titles. I just think that was more gimmicky than anything else.
Yes.
The Rockers being 14 when they never won the titles formally. Yes, I know they won. I know the story. I've seen it in 3 different fucking WWE documentaries. I know they technically won them on a main event taping, but it wasn't recognized because the fucking top rope broke during the first fall of the 2 out of 3 falls match against Hart Foundation. I fucking know. I'm a Bret Hart mark. I fucking know that, okay? I know that. But they never formally won the titles. So them being at 14, I think is whoever making this list leaning too much on how innovative they were for the time and not enough on career accolades. So to me, the Rockers at 14 is utter and complete bullshit. Sorry, HBK. Sorry, coked out Marty Jannetty, but that's the truth, all right? The Rockers at 14 is bullshit. I feel like... Here's the other part of the problem I have. I have a problem with them including NXT tag teams here.
Well, I mean, the only...
Like, I understand that it's a WWE brand, but all things considered, and you're going to name some tag teams that could have been in there aside from these guys.
But it was only DIY.
No, Undisputed Era's in here. They're number 20.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry.
So, I mean, I get O'Reilly and Fish were a great tag team. Then eventually they had Cole as a part, Cole. And honestly, because of how clusterfucked they were because of injuries, that's more stable than a tag team, really.
Well, yeah.
When you break it down, because all 4 guys at one point or another held the tag titles because of various injuries that happened. So to me, having them in, let alone at number 20, bullshit. DX at 21, listen, Paul, Sean, go fuck yourself. All right? Just stop it. Who else we got here? Hold on. Let me keep going here.
DX is on here, but Kane and X-Pac isn't.
Team Hell No,
Oh, no, Kane and X-Pac is. Never mind. Kane and RVD isn't on here, though.
Listen, I'm okay with Team Hell No being on the list. I don't agree with them being better on the list than, say, Owen Hart and British Bulldog. That's bullshit to me. The Street Profits have only been together for 2 years. We're putting them on the list already. Like, what the fuck are we doing here?
They've been together longer than that, but still.
Paul London and Brian Kendrick. What the fuck?
You need to realize London and Kendrick were the longest reigning SmackDown Tag Team Champions.
Because Triple H didn't want to work Tuesdays. No, sorry. Sorry, I just pulled the Paul Heyman one.
I know, but like that's one of those lines that doesn't work. Like that, we'll pull that out in this house every once in a while. Be like, do you know why? And one of us will say because Triple H didn't want to work Tuesdays.
That's really a regular line in your house right now.
Oh yes.
Oh my goodness. All right. Listen, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's just be blunt for a second here. 48 through, I would even say 47 through 50 is bullshit. Are you looking at this list right now?
Yeah.
Do you see who 47 through 50 is?
The Smoking Guns, the Quebecers, Too Cool, and the Bushwhackers?
Fuck off!
The Quebecers belong on there.
Fuck off! I like Johnny Polo more than I ever liked the Quebecers. Fuck off.
Quebecers were fucking good, dude. They had solid chemistry. But you know what's fucked up is that the Quebecers are on here, but not the fabulous Rougeau brothers.
And you're going to tell me Rated RKO is only number 40?
I don't think they should be on this list at all.
Really?
They're in the same camp as the fucking Mega Powers, dude. They were singles guys. They were there. Big deal.
They worked so.
You know because they had one good finisher? Like, fuck that shit. You know who's not on this list that should be?
The Dream Team?
No. But you know what's fucked up is the fact that Strike Force is on here, but the Can-Am Connection isn't.
Oh, fuck Tom Zink. Who cares about Tom Zink?
Some people care about the Z-Man, God damn it.
Who cares about the Z-Man? Some
people care about the Z-Man.
Unless you're Tony Schiavone, who probably jerks off to a picture of him every night.
Neither the fucking Heavenly Bodies nor the Rock and Roll Express are on this list, and that's a fucking crime.
That's a sin. That is a sin. Did the Midnight Express even make it?
Midnight Express technically never worked for Vince. The new Midnight Express did.
We're not talking about Al Snow. Was that the one with Al Snow in it?
No, that was the one with Bart Gunn and Bob Holly.
Oh,
Bodacious right. Bob and Bombastic Bart. No, you're thinking of the new Rockers.
Well, I knew. Yeah,
Al Snow was Leif Cassidy.
Leif Cassidy's fuck off. Oh my god. You don't think the Dream Team should have been in there?
I mean,
Beefcake and Break the Hammer.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was like on my, but yeah. Beefcake and fucking Valentine should be on this list, and they're not. That's a fucking. Which
I thought was interesting because the Valiant brothers made it, but Valiant as a manager for the Dream Team didn't make it, which was like
right.
Jesus Christ.
The Wild Samoan should be higher than number 15. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Fucking like, and that's like the Shield being here. Shield was a stable. They weren't a tag team. Like APA should be a lot higher than they are. Where was I? Who else was I fucking thinking of that was just like, how the fuck are they not on this list? Even fucking Cash and Jamie Noble when they were the Pitbulls. Like, they deserve some honorable mention on here. Like, I'm not saying like top 10, but they deserve to be fucking on here. Hell, even I don't even fucking like them, but how is RVD and Rey Mysterio not on here? Like, I understand you like, because like Evolution, like, no, like, which form of Evolution are you talking? Are you talking Batista and Flair?
Well, those are the main ones that were the tag champions, so probably, yeah.
Right, but I mean, like, meh. Eminem shouldn't be out. You got Miz and Morrison. Miz and Morrison surpassed Eminem in so many levels.
Very true. Very, very true.
And like, Jericho's on here, but not Shomiz.
Yeah. Yeah, that's...
Like, Shomiz lasted longer than Jericho.
I'm trying to think if there's any others... Out of curiosity, where the fuck was Demolition? I'm assuming top 10.
Yeah, I thought they were. Yeah, I thought
they were 11.
Number 11. Yeah, they deserve high. Powers of Pain isn't on here.
Oh yeah! Wow. Yeah. But then you get into which variation of Powers. Well, I think there was only one technically in WWE.
The Machines. How are the Machines not on here?
Are you being serious or are you joking?
They should be on here. Like, I'm not saying top 10. You could say somewhere around between 50 and 40. They were over in Japan. Vince brought them back, and that was his way to bring back Andre, but the Machines worked for Vince.
Now I think you're stretching it a little bit.
Not at all.
Hold on. The Machines were Andre and... Wait. Don't tell me. Axe from Demolition, right? Or what is it? Bill, I can't remember his fucking real name. Bill something.
Barry Darsow.
No, Barry Darsow was Smash.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry, my bad. Who was that? Now you got my train of thought on something else, on someone that wasn't included that should have been. Fuck. I'm surprised Men on a Mission didn't make this list. Like, they got the Bushwhackers on here, but not,
that.
like, just in the fact of how over they were at the time. Like, you cannot deny when they were baby faces, fucking Men on a Mission and High Energy were over as shit.
Bill Eadie, by the way, is the name else.
Bill Eadie, yes, yeah. Yes.
I was having a brain fart in the last name.
Yes.
Oh, I don't know. Anytime I see a list made by WWE, I just kind of roll my eyes and just pray for the best, honestly.
Well, it's because they always cater to whatever their current product says. And, like, it's like, yeah,
something. The New Day being number one.
Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, the New Day has had the most title reigns, and they've been a huge merch money maker for you for a few years now, but that doesn't mean they're the greatest of all time.
Edge and Christian.
No.
I'm kidding. God, relax. Who would be your number one?
Road Warriors.
It's pretty hard to argue.
There's a reason they call it the Road Warrior pop.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty hard to argue.
I've had that debate with so many workers where they're like, who's gotten the biggest pop of all time? And I'm like, the Road Warriors. And they're like, no, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, motherfucker, there's a reason they call it the Road Warrior pop.
And no, we're not including LOD 2000 with draws.
Okay, so LOD 2000 originally didn't have draws. LOD 2000 was still Hawk and Animal with Sonny.
Right.
And then Hawk went drinky.
And they went to pukey. Anyways, that was bad taste probably, but I don't care. Draws was puke. I mean, what do you want me to say? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that does it. We somehow got in under 2 hours today. Holy shit.
Nice.
Yeah, any parting thoughts you want to give before real quick, congratulations to all the wrestling companies that are going back in front of live crowds now recently. Tonight is the first one for WWE, and then Sunday with Money in the Bank, Monday with Raw. So good for them. Glad that they're back on the road and everybody can start living a relatively normal road lifestyle again for them. Go ahead.
So basically, congratulations to everyone except Impact, because Jesus fuck. They don't start doing shows in front of crowds again until mid-August. They literally taped Slammiversary and everything that happens after Slammiversary this week.
Oh, Impact.
Which I watched, and Jesus fuck. Their women's title is being defended against a mystery opponent.
Right.
Like, fucking ridiculous. Fucking.
Because they've run out of ideas for Deonna Purrazzo, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm pretty sure it's going to be Awesome Kong that they bring back, because she's.
And by the way,
anymore.
They pulled the mystery opponent card twice for that show.
Yep.
Because they have Brian Myers, a.k.a. Kurt Hawkins, and Tennille Dashwood go against Matt Cardona and a mystery opponent, which, by the way, can't be Chelsea Green. She's still in a fucking cast.
No, Chelsea Green showed up in ROH.
But didn't she still have a cast on?
Maybe, but she showed up at ROH. She's not going to show up at Impact.
Well, yeah, no shit, she showed up at ROH. But I'm pretty sure she still had the cast on anyway. Well, either way around it, it's not Chelsea Green. As much as people want to fucking jizz themselves thinking it's going to be, it's not. Which, I don't know. It's Impact. You never fucking know what they're going to pull out of their asses.
Yeah,
speaking of Impact,
we all know fucking Kenny's not dropping that title to Santa Gallen.
I was going to say, speaking of Impact, how do you feel about they're making that a no DQ match now for Sammy and
Let's
Kenny.
Just telegraph the fact that fucking everyone's going to interfere.
Essentially. Oh, man. I love
Like
this
nobody
business.
cares because fucking it's empty arena still. Like they could have gotten they should have started like recording in front of people again, but because they are so used to recording a month of fucking shows at a time, they're like, fuck it, let's just do it again. And now they're gonna lose even more viewers because no one believes that they're gonna fucking
And more revenue.
Right. And here's the problem. Once they go back to live shows, and they're gonna be like, Kenny, time for you to drop that belt. And Kenny's gonna go fuck yourself.
That'll be a great conversation.
Especially
So-
with Don Callis being fired from Impact now.
Yeah. So yeah, that pretty much wraps things up. If you have any comments, questions, concerns in short form, my Twitter at Brian Cady, BrianCady. There we go. His Twitter, JJ's is at JJ_Alexander. And then if you have any long form questions, comments, complaints, my email is brian.cady@godzillamedia.com, GOZILLA media.com. That does it for JJ Alexander. I'm Brian Cady. That was another edition of White Heat, presented by Godzilla Media and sponsored by Mohawk Honda on Freeman's Bridge Road in Scotia, Glenville. And we'll catch you for the next episode, episode 10, next week. Till then, happy wrestling, folks.